Arsenal are back and with a bang. As the 3-point collectors arrived at Goodison Park, Mikel Arteta was over the moon. So today we'll discuss Arsenal's difference makers, reveal the plan for David Raya, and find out how Arsenal are evolving. As per, let's break it all down and discuss the 5 things we learned from Everton 0, Arsenal 1. Yo, what is going on guys? My name is Bowers14 and welcome back to your boys channel, and I know you guys are doing sensational because Arsenal have made it 4 wins out of 5. So as per, smash a like on the video if you enjoy, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Help your boy as we're trying to reach 200,000 subscribers. We're starting off with Arsenal's left wing excellence. This game was always going to be about the wide forwards. You go back to the game last season. At Goodison Park, Sean Dyche had a specific tactic: stop the ball going out wide. And that was because he understood Arsenal's most dangerous players are definitely the wide forwards. It's all about getting the ball to them in dangerous positions, and there was the prime example in this game. Fabio Vieira playing in behind Gabriel Martinelli with a Thierry Henry-esque finish into the bottom right hand corner. An example straight away of what Vieira and Martinelli could be. Unfortunately, the goal wasn't meant to be. Eddie Nketiah slightly offside in the build-up play. It was a bit controversial because of the angle. A lot of people unsure if Nketiah was in fact offside, but in football you can't dwell for too long. If something goes against you, you have to carry on. No matter how much you complain, things are not going to change. But what is happening with Gabriel Martinelli? With his goal taken off him, he was soon taken off the pitch. And after the game, Mikel Arteta has spoken, saying that he felt, I think, something in the action and the run of the goal. He is not normally a player to have muscular issues, but he had to come off. Let's see. Now, Martinelli was seen holding his hamstring, not the best of signs, but he was seen on the Arsenal bench for the rest of the game. A sign that it's not a serious injury. But that gave Arsenal an opportunity. On came the match winner, Trossard. A 7.9 performance. In 66 minutes, it was 1 goal scored. From an XG of 0.09. 1 shot on target, 1 successful dribble, 22 accurate passes and 2 key passes, as well as 4 ground duels won. Trossard was given the official man of the match by Sky. In the first half he looked a bit rusty, but the second half he started to cook, showcasing elite close control, driving Arsenal up the pitch. But there's also another standout attribute. Trossard has got elite ball striking, showcased perfectly in the Arsenal winner. Yet again, Arsenal have scored from a corner. That's 16 since the start of last season. Arsenal have scored more goals from corners than any other team in the Premier League. After the game, when Mikel Arteta was asked to explain the hard work put in the Arsenal short corners, he simply replied no. There was one very key detail. In total, Arsenal took 26 seconds to take the corner, making Everton wait. It's all a part of their plan. They're trying to catch teams out, making them lose concentration, change the speed of the attacks. It's all about making Arsenal more unpredictable. The man behind this is Arsenal set-piece coach Nicolas Jova, very innovative in the game. He's given Arsenal a new way of scoring goals. The goal itself was special, a lovely work move, reminiscent of a goal scored by Mesut Ozil against Napoli back in 2013. Another example of Trossard's elite weak foot, a devastating finish on his left side. Trossard is one of the best ball strikers in the entire league, and this is going to be so important, especially in the Champions League. In games that are tight and when you need something special, Trossard is that guy to turn to. After the game, Sky Sports' Patrick Davidson said, "I watch you most weeks and I'm none the wiser to your strong foots. I think actually it's the other one, your right foot, no?" Trossard said it is, but I've actually been practicing all my life on both feet. You can see that helps you in the game as an attacker. Yet another example of how Arsenal are evolving. Look at the Arsenal bench. Ramsdale, Tomiyasu, Kiwior, Jorginho, Havertz, Trossard, Smith Rowe, Nelson and Jesus. Arsenal have game changers off the bench. And as Mikel Arteta said after the game, no one is guaranteed a spot. We are now seeing a change in Mikel Arteta. With 18 different players having started for Arsenal in the opening 5 league games this season, Arteta is learning how to rotate. It's all about making a competitive environment. Mikel Arteta often speaks about different games calling for different players. Arsenal finally have the ability of changing their ways of playing, finding different solutions. Now it falls to the likes of Emil Smith Rowe. How is Mikel Arteta going to integrate him into the first team? Moving on to the second thing, Arteta's evolution. Arsenal are slowly changing. Now in terms of XG, Arsenal have won once again, holding Everton to 0.34 and getting 1.16. For the 4th time this season, Arsenal have won on XG by a comfortable margin. But there's also something different. Have a look at the overall in-game stats. A massive 74% possession, 695 passes, 52 final third entries and a 2.4 expected threat created. The field tilt stands out straight away. Once again, Arsenal with 78%. This is becoming a theme for Arsenal. Have a look at all of our field tilts this season. 4 of Arsenal's 5 games this year, we've had over 80%, with Palace being the only game below, where of course we were dominant until a red card. This is all a part of Mikel Arteta's plan. He's trying to make Arsenal more sustainable. A slower approach all built to sustain pressure. Last year Arsenal were different. Far more vertical in the passing, yes it was entertaining, but ultimately it got found out. That's where Arsenal have turned to a Man City-esque approach. How can the opposition team score if they can't get the ball? That's where you have the likes of Rice, Saliba and Gabriel, all fantastic in the individual duels. Every time Everton tried to play out, these guys were there. They win the ball back as soon as possible and get Arsenal playing again. That's where you have the importance of Alexander Zinchenko. In this game, a 7.3 rating, with 2 tackles, 2 ground duels won, 100 touches and 72 accurate passes, as well as 5 accurate long balls. Look at this guy's heat map. Far more of a midfielder than a left back. Zinchenko offers Arsenal something very important: elite line breaking passes. Think about the amount of times in this game. Fantastic balls in behind to Fabio Vieira, trying to evade the Everton pressure. The next step for me is obvious. Zinchenko needs to add more variation. Going forwards, if he can add more overlaps, it will give the Arsenal attack a different dynamic. And of course, we've got to talk about Declan Rice. Every time this guy plays, he thrives to a different level. As you can see from his heat map, this time on the right hand side of the field, his influence is undeniable. A 7.7 overall rating, 101 touches, 85 accurate passes and 93% accuracy. 1 key pass, 5 out of 5 long balls, 3 out of 3 dribbles and 4 out of 6 ground duels. The defensive numbers are fantastic. 1 clearance and 3 interceptions. Every game Declan Rice is evolving. In this game his passing was fantastic, especially in terms of finding Bukayo Saka, the perfect way to pass to get us playing. Rice is turning into Mr. Consistent, averaging an overall 7.5 rating this season. We are seeing constant green performances, and this game showed me something: the difference between Rice and Thomas Partey. Go back to the game last season at Goodison Park. Thomas Partey was taken off because his passing was too loose. Even though he's better than Rice in terms of ball progression, Rice gives Arsenal more control of games, and when you're at Goodison Park, it gives Arsenal the perfect building block. The best part is they are both Arsenal players. Once Thomas Partey becomes available again, Arteta will have 2 different styles of playing. Moving on to the third thing, Arsenal's difference makers. Arsenal have always struggled at Goodison Park, so that's why Mikel Arteta understood it was time to make a change. In came Fabio Vieira for his first start of the season, and going into the game there were massive doubts about his physical ability. Vieira answered all the questions emphatically. A 7.3 rating with 80 minutes played, 43 touches, 22 accurate passes, 2 accurate crosses, 1 long ball, 1 successful dribble. Look at the defensive numbers: 4 ground duels won, 1 interception and 1 tackle. This was a statement performance from Fabio Vieira. Physically he is evolving. On many occasions he showed his ability to win the ball back. Then you've got the on the ball excellence. Vieira could have easily got 2 assists in this game. The offside goal for Martinelli and a ball across the face of the goal. In terms of open play assist, have a look at these numbers here. Only 2 players at Arsenal have had more assists in all competitions than Fabio Vieira since he joined the club, with 8 assists in total. We are now starting to see what Fabio Vieira is made of. Not only has he got elite passing in behind, there's also another important aspect: in behind movement. Time and time again in this game, Vieira made some very important runs in behind. That showcases in-game intelligence, understanding where the space was going to be. Vieira was giving Arsenal something different. Now we're going to have a massive battle, with Kai Havertz coming off the bench. A 6.7 overall rating, 5 out of 6 passes and winning 1 ground duel. Having got an assist in the international break, there was one very key thing: it came on the right hand side instead, an area where Havertz is far more comfortable. Look at his heat map from his best days at Bayer Leverkusen. Maybe Mikel Arteta will have to adapt. But on Fabio Vieira he says, "What I want is players that deserve to play, and they play." Fabio Vieira deserved to play. He's been knocking on the door for a few weeks. You can tell that he was ready. He contributed and had some great actions. Then you have the Arsenal captain Martin Odegaard. His numbers were fantastic, with a 7.2 overall rating, 61 touches, 43 passes, 3 key passes, as well as 1 successful dribble. But I think there's a clear area where Odegaard needs to improve, and that is in terms of movement, where on the left hand side you saw Fabio Vieira making runs in behind, overlapping as well as underlapping. That's an aspect where Odegaard has to improve in. Not only would it allow for Saka to come inside, but more importantly it would give Odegaard a different dimension. Playing alongside Fabio Vieira, I think we may see a change, where Vieira becomes the creator and Odegaard becomes the goal scorer. We also need to talk about another difference maker. In a very surprise turn of events, Mikel Arteta started David Raya over Aaron Ramsdale, and with his entire family watching in the crowd, Raya did not disappoint. A 7.4 rating with 1 save, 2 high claims and 44 touches, elite passing numbers of 30 out of 32 with a 94% accuracy, 7 out of 9 long balls. Raya gave also something very important: composure playing out of the back, transmitting calmness to his entire back four, something that Ramsdale needs to add to his game. As great a goalkeeper as he can be, in this game we saw a clear difference, where Raya is a bit more cold-blooded. No matter how much Everton were trying to press, Raya did not change his style of play. It shows that Arsenal have 2 top goalkeepers, and as Mikel Arteta said after the game, when Raya being selected and Ramsdale being benched, trust me, it's like playing Fabio Vieira or Eddie Nketiah. It's nothing different. I have 11 players to pick and no one is different. Here were both of the goalkeepers before the game, all smiles and hugs. It seems like things are about to change at Arsenal. Listen to Mikel Arteta after the game. "I have few regrets, but on 2 occasions, after 60 minutes and 85 minutes in 2 games, I could have changed the keeper and I didn't do it. I didn't have the courage to do it. We drew those games and I was so unhappy. This may be a reminder to last season. The games against Southampton and West Ham, Arsenal may become the first ever team to substitute goalkeepers in games. And that's going to cause mayhem, but it's all a part of the Arsenal vision, becoming innovative and changing the game. It also makes a lot of sense for the Champions League, where Ramsdale should be able to start, having earned a place there last season. But then you've got the game against Spurs, where Mikel Arteta will have a massive dilemma. Moving on to the fourth thing, Arsenal's defensive monsters. Arsenal have had 2 difficult away games, Selhurst Park and Goodison Park, and they have come out unscathed with 2 clean sheets. Arsenal have now kept 12 away clean sheets in the Premier League since the start of last season. That's 5 more than the 2 teams with the next most, Fulham and Man City with 7. And there's one man that I want to give praise to. We are talking Benjamin White, the silent assassin. His recent form has been fantastic. Constant ratings over 7. 7.7 in this game, with 1 clearance and 1 tackle, 4 ground balls won, 114 touches and 80 passes completed, as well as 3 accurate long balls. The role of Ben White cannot be understated. This guy covers all over the right hand side, from his passes completed to expected threats, fantastic ball progression, as well as ability to carry the ball. This makes Ben White a unique profile, someone able to cover different areas of the pitch. I love the fact that he's so careless, calm and composed on the field. It's about time our fans give him more flowers. Then you've got the Rolls Royce next to him, William Saliba, who was given the man of the match from a Premier League fans vote. An excellent performance of a 7.2 rating, with 2 clearances and 2 block shots, 94 passes completed as well as 3 accurate long balls, a 91% accuracy. Alongside his partner in Gabriel, Arsenal have 2 defensive monsters, and these guys excel away from home, limiting Everton to 0 big chances all game. Away from home they are building a reputation. They've got the pace, they've got the power, on the ball ability to play out of the back, and they are so important for Arsenal in terms of control. How many times did Raya even have to make a save? For Gabriel was also a 7.2, winning 5 out of 7 aerial duels, completing 90 passes and 3 accurate long balls. To have signed these 2 monsters for a combined £53 million, it's a bargain in the current market. The Arsenal defence is definitely improving. In terms of XG conceded this year in the league, Arsenal was second only behind Man City. Moving on to the 5th thing, early season grind. Make no mistake, this was a gargantuan victory, especially in terms of mentally. Arsenal's first win at Goodison Park since 2017. The last time being under Arsene Wenger, Arsenal have finally broken a curse. To win these first 2 away games of Selhurst Park away, and now Goodison Park, what stands out is how Arsenal have won those games. They have been controlled, they have been dominant, composed even when things go against them. 2 games that are normally stressful have not been the case this year. That is because Arsenal are evolving. Despite still being the youngest team in the Premier League, the team now has temperaments. They are starting to become more composed, and that comes from natural experience. Over the past 2 years, this team has had a lot of low moments, but that is where you build characters. These players now know what it takes, and they know what it feels like to be hurt. Here was Mikel Arteta after the game, spotting the Arsenal team coach, and if you look closely, he's got his feet up and he is enjoying life. And that's because Arsenal have made a fantastic start to the season. They only dropped points against Fulham, which they easily could have won. Arsenal, alongside Man City, Tottenham and Liverpool, are the only teams that remain unbeaten in the Premier League this season. As it stands, Arsenal are 4th in the table, joint with Liverpool and Spurs, 2 points behind Man City. Even though we've not been as entertaining as last season, I think there's been improvements. Arsenal are controlling games better, and that's the next step in our evolution. Especially against deep blocks, Arsenal have found a different way. Arsenal are suffocating these teams, keeping the ball away from them and killing their atmospheres. When you've then got a monster midfield like Declan Rice, even when teams try to counter-attack, he is waiting. Arsenal have become even more powerful, not just the size of Kai Havertz and Declan Rice. Look at Fabio Vieira and Leandro Trossard. The way these guys battle and win the ball back, this team can no longer get bullied. And next up is a massive game. Arsenal against Spurs at the Emirates Stadium. The North London derby is coming, and this is going to be different. Spurs are a far more attacking team, and that could play into Arsenal's hands. As long as Arsenal are able to get the ball in behind, we could have a lot of fun. But just before Spurs, we've got something else. A Champions League return against PSV Eindhoven this Wednesday at the Emirates Stadium. As Alexander Zinchenko says, 3+ points, a clean sheet, away fans are on fire. Can't wait to hear the Champions League anthem at the Emirates on Wednesday. But what did you guys learn from this game? And how do you think Arsenal should line up against PSV? That is the video there and there though, so hopefully you guys have enjoyed. If you have, don't forget to smash a like and also subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you want to follow your boy on all of the social medias, then the links are down below in the description. But that was the 5 things we learned from Everton 0, Arsenal 1. Finally a win at Goodison Park, but now it's the Wednesday and the Champions League anthem back at the Emirates Stadium. We'll be there and I'll see you next time. Take care, in a bit.